The quiet streets of Praia da Luz slept under a velvet sky, waves whispering against the shore, families tucked into their holiday apartments, laughter fading into silence. But in apartment 5A, a storm was about to break. The McCanns thought it was just another peaceful evening. Dinner with friends only steps away, their children safe in bed. Yet in the stillness, an unseen hand prepared to shatter their world. A shadow moved where none should be. A silence hung too heavy. By morning, the village would never be the same, and for the McCanns, life as they knew it would vanish forever. It began with a mother's scream, sharp, fractured, echoing through the night. Kate McCann rushed into the children's bedroom, her heart dropping into silence. The twins slept undisturbed, but Madeline's bed was empty. Panic swallowed reason. Neighbors woke to shots, search parties fanned into the darkness, and the once calm resort turned into a maze of terror. Every unlocked door, every flickering street lamp carried suspicion. Was Madeline hiding? Had she wandered off? Or had someone taken her into the night? The village, once a picture of safety, was now a crime scene. The clock had started ticking, and each second stretched into eternity. News of the missing girl spread like wildfire. Within hours, Praia da Luz was swarmed with reporters, cameras flashing against the night sky. Madeline's face, wide-eyed, innocent, stared from every screen. The small village transformed into the center of global attention. Tourists whispered, locals speculated, and strangers across the world felt a chill in their homes. The McCanns pleaded for help, their grief unfolding before millions. But with each headline, the mystery deepened. Was this a kidnapping, a tragic accident, or something darker? The case had left Portugal, and now the world was watching. As days turned into weeks, suspicion grew sharper than knives. Investigators, desperate for answers, turned their gaze toward the parents themselves. Could the McCanns, a respected doctor and a devoted mother, hide such a terrible secret? Rumors swirled in tabloids, painting them as liars, as masterminds, as grieving victims with something to conceal. Every tear, every word they spoke became evidence to someone. While the McCanns clung to hope, the world began to fracture. Believers on one side, doubters on the other. In the hunt for truth, innocence itself was put on trial. The apartment whispered secrets investigators struggled to decipher. A window left ajar, a curtain that fluttered in the night, the faint scent of a stranger, perhaps imagined, perhaps real. Dogs trained to smell death were brought in, their reactions fueling sensational headlines. Forensic tests promised answers but delivered only more confusion. Each clue led to another dead end. Each discovery seemed both damning and inconclusive. Shadows stretched across every detail, twisting the truth into a puzzle without edges. And somewhere, if still alive, Madeline remained unseen, her silence haunting every step of the investigation. The story spiraled beyond control. Tabloids plastered theories across front pages, reporters stalked the McCanns day and night, and strangers dissected every photograph of Madeline's last moments. The case wasn't just news. It had become entertainment, gossip, obsession. Rumors mutated into facts, and public opinions shifted with every headline. For the grieving parents, the cameras brought both hope and horror. They needed the world to remember Madeline, but the glare of fame was merciless. The line between truth and spectacle blurred, leaving behind a question that echoed louder than ever. Was the media helping to find a child or burying the truth? Behind closed doors, whispers of corruption seeped into the case. Political pressure, diplomatic ties, and reputations at stake twisted the investigation's path. Leads were dropped, files locked away, and uncomfortable questions buried beneath official statements. Was it incompetence or something more sinister? Detectives came and went, theories shifted, and the truth seemed further from reach. To some, it felt as if invisible hands were steering the case away from resolution. A little girl was missing, yet power and politics loomed larger than justice. The trail that began in one small apartment was now entangled in the web of secrets. The most chilling evidence arrived not in plain sight, but hidden deep within the shadows. Traces of blood, discovered in the apartment, ignited a firestorm. DNA results were debated, dismissed, and reignited, their meaning never fully agreed on. Did it prove Madeline's fate? Or was it contamination, a cruel trick of science? For the McCanns, the whispers were devastating. For the police, it was their strongest lead yet. But every revelation led to more division, more doubt, more noise. In the story of Madeleine McCann, even the blood itself could not speak clearly, and silence remained. One by one, friends, neighbors, and strangers found themselves under the harsh glare of suspicion. The so-called Tapas 7 who dined with the McCanns that night were questioned endlessly, their memories scrutinized, their timelines ripped apart. Local workers, suspicious outsiders, even passing tourists were dragged into the storm. Each suspect became a headline, each denial a new debate. But with every accusation, the real truth slipped further into the shadows. Innocent lives are crushed beneath the weight of speculation, while the questions still burn. If not them, then who? What began as a family's nightmare soon spiraled into an international crisis. The British government leaned on Portuguese authorities, urging speed, urging answers. Politicians spoke cautiously, diplomats intervened, and the investigation bent beneath the strain of two nations colliding. The case was no longer just about a missing child. It had become about reputation, power, and saving face. Behind closed doors, alliances cracked. In the media, accusations of corruption and incompetence fanned the flames. For the McCanns, the search for their daughter was lost in a battle of politics. And for Madeline, justice slipped further away. Months turned into years, hope into despair. With no breakthrough, no new leads, and no answers, Portuguese authorities finally made the unthinkable move. They archived the case. Officially, the hunt for Madeline was over. To many, it felt like surrender. For the McCanns, it was betrayal. Their daughter was still out there somewhere, and yet the world seemed ready to turn the page. But the mystery of Madeleine McCann refused to die, because even in silence, the story had grown too large, too haunting to ever truly disappear. When the lead detective published his explosive book, the case roared back into public view. His claims were damning, his words ruthless, pointing the finger not at strangers but at the McCanns themselves. Lawsuits followed, headlines screamed, and the debate reignited with fresh fury. Was this truth finally exposed, or the desperate defense of a failed investigation? The book became more than pages. It became a weapon. And while adults clashed in courts and newsrooms, the voice of the missing child was drowned out once more. Madeline's story, it seemed, was destined never to rest.